I am fighting for Nigeria. You don't know the danger you face by the number of people you have rendered unemployed. And now you want money for security. You have to deal with no security response to the security challenges we are having. Thank you very much. And please, we will create job for the people.
I think that we should increase tariffs on imported vehicles to increase or to stimulate production in Nigeria. We have a lot of people who have already set up their assembly plants. We start with the automotive industry is also enjoying the BIP, the backward integration program. We have to look into that to dissuade importation of finished items and promote assembly of shop. That's my own proposal. That's the only way we can stimulate production in Nigeria.
Reading through your presentation is very articulate. It seems to be clear about what we need to do. But listening to your explanation and some of your policies, they are completely at variance with the very beautiful presentation that you made. You did documents from you under Nigeria Trade Office Ghana. Purchase of 2 units of project vehicles, SUV, 160 million naira. Is this a Nigerian-made vehicle? 160 million naira. Which kind of truck is this? I mean,
so it's for Ghana.
No, don't make your notes.
Okay.
So we avoid the crossfire. I don't want to just show that there's a huge gap between what we preach and what we do in your ministry. Understand our extent of dependence. What is the balance of trade between Nigeria and China? What is the balance of trade between Nigeria and countries under the European Union? What is the balance of trade between Nigeria and the United Kingdom? Most of our major trading partners. And when I talk about balance of trade, delete oil. The other one is an international product. So that we can appreciate how much we have gained in terms of giving all the money we spent over the years on export promotion and all the institutions we've set up, whether they are banks, they are commission, whatever they are, so that it will give us a window whether we are not just throwing money away. We probably have far more institutions, whether financial institutions or other commissions, with the one primary objective to promote export. So by the time you give us this figure, it will give us an idea. Number two, not be found in your office and be found elsewhere. He claimed to know where you were. I don't know whether he's tracking you. But there is one major thing that I've seen in all the committees that I've attended, and this is something the Senate has to look at. Every time Nigeria has to travel, including your ministry, we are, I use the word, and excuse me, but we need to be brutally frank, but not brutal to people, but in terms of calling a spade a spade. We always have the largest delegation of Nigerians to trade missions. Now I see in your proposal, you have trade mission in Geneva, and you are going to spend almost over 1.7 billion naira to maintain your Geneva office, which means ideally you have trade experts in that office. And when I used to go to Geneva, where Nigerian ministers go with 30-man delegation, America will use their trade officers in Geneva to attend those meetings. They are just pure technical people. In Nigeria, the minister will lead the delegation, and by the time you multiply now, I don't know what the ETA code is now, times 1,000, whatever it is, you'll find that ministers in trying to help put their people on trips, they don't attend the meetings, and they spend most of that time shopping at the expense of taxpayers. And that is paid substantially, while you will find huge overhead. I'm just asking myself, you are going to spend in your ministry 900 and that is headquarters alone, 905 million naira. And sometimes when you put for 2 02 kobo. I really don't know how these numbers are generated because nobody sees kobo anymore. It doesn't exist. And every budget they put in there as if it was meant to be a joke. Budget is meant to be an honest statement, not a formality. So you spend so much money on overhead. Number two, you are arguing the case for waivers. For me, the most corrupt tools of government is to make law for everyone, and then for those you favor, you now grant them waiver to breach that law. Government must be seen to be fair to all. If we are going to have fair competition, and we have opted for free market, why should we even have thing called waiver? I think my plea to Mr. Chairman, sir, is that going forward, the National Assembly has the right to legislate, to curtail the power of those who exercise this discretion, because they are abused. It is our trade policies, this submission, recklessly in my view, to so-called WTO rules and so on, and then we expose ourselves to all kinds of goods and services coming in. Let me just ask you one question. When you go to a restaurant, and as the Minister of Trade, you pick a toothpick and it's made in China, that toothpick is illegally imported and drawing the forex from our increasingly impoverished central bank? Or how does it come in? Under our laws, should toothpick not made in Nigeria be found in the Nigeria market? And okay, time is always a problem here. Provided that next time, sir, we will not be rushed to approve money because we are in a hurry. Because those who pay taxes don't earn the money in a hurry. They sweat. We must be sure, not assuming, sir. No, excuse me. Custom officer implements trade policies. They do not formulate the tariff policies. They collect what has been imposed on them. Yeah, but you shouldn't be tired so much that not to know the difference. It's my father. It's my father. He knows we are good friends. So, should we spend money in a ministry that is not promoting local production? I want us to set up a target, sir, where we should say, for example, all the cars in Nigeria, all those tires they were using in the past, not during Mongo Park era, just in the 80s, they were in Nigeria. In the early 90s, you have Michelin, you have Dunlop, you have several of them that were producing tires in Nigeria using rubber that is made or planted in my part of the country. And all of these are gone now. Any car you see on the road, the tire is imported. What are your plans to make a review? The reason I ask you, I didn't come to the Senate to lament, as this budget suggests, with old traditions, right? So you need to tell us, what are we going to do differently to get all the tires we're using in Nigeria made in Nigeria? The policy that brought them before was by government that says, in the military, unfortunately, rather interestingly, that says, if you want to sell tires in Nigeria, locate in Nigeria. If you want to clothe 200 million Nigerians, locate the textile factories in Nigeria. If you want to, because the only thing we have to sell to the world is our population. And so if you want to patronize that huge market of 200 million people, my friend, locate in Nigeria. That was the policy. It didn't occur by accident. And once we revise the policies, now, from what you are telling me, all the Toyotas on the road, and we have perhaps per capita the highest number of Toyota vehicles in Nigeria. I'm using what? We need to have a policy that seeks to make a complete huge change. Otherwise, year in, year out, we will go through these rituals. You will complete your tenure in 4 years. Our dependence will be much more than it was before you came. That has been the lot of your predecessors, and may that not be the lot of you and of the 10th National Assembly.
Thank you very much, much distinguished. Just had everybody down there. It's still a comrade.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
So please, Honorable Minister.
I am fighting for Nigeria. You don't know the danger you face by the number of people you have rendered unemployed. And now you want money for security. You have to deal with no security response to the security challenges we are having.
Thank you very much.
It means more great job for the people.
If a law or a policy is not created where the biggest buyer of auto vehicles, the government, if you do not create a policy where all government-bought vehicles must be assembled in Nigeria, regardless of who uses them, you can never generate sort of, not generate, but grow that industry. That's number one. A lot of things that we import, you can also look at how to get policies, especially, as I said, the government is one of the biggest buyers of things.